everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. We've got two running backs who are hoping for plenty of running lanes on the field today. It's Freeman's Falcons going up against Thomas Rawls' Seahawks. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Larry, we are just south of historic Pioneer Square at CenturyLink Field in the beautiful city of Seattle, Washington. These folks love their football in Seattle. This was the scene a moment ago as the home squad came out of the tunnel, and it was just absolutely deafening in this building. They're set for football, so are we, as the Seahawks get set to match up with the Atlanta Falcons. Hi again, everybody. I'm Brandon Gaudin. To my left, as always, he's Charles Davis. And, Charles, we saw in the open, we've got a couple of great running backs in this game tonight, each capable of putting a team on his back.
And I'm excited to talk about the runners, not just the passers, who have a big hand and who's going to win this game. Both of these guys are do-it-all. Can run it, can catch it. I can't wait to get this one started.
On the return, the All-Pro 2 years ago, Tyler Lockett. Oh, able to avoid him. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. Russell Wilson leading them out there, 6-year quarterback who finished his college ball, of course, as a Wisconsin Badger.
One of the more cerebral quarterbacks in the NFL, analyzes situations, watches a ton of tape, adapts his game to whatever is presented in front of him. And despite the fact he's been in the league for 6 years, the future still bright for Russell Wilson.
Here's Wilson, eluding the pressure right. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down. On second down, Wilson. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. Wilson to throw on third down. And he fires one that's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant, and the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Not much happening there on first down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 15, just shy of the 10. A good pick up there of 20 yards.
I know that's their first connection in this game, but you and I both know that Julio Jones is without a doubt his quarterback's favorite target.
Oh, yeah, Matt Ryan loves this guy. Who wouldn't?
Yeah, the reason that he's that is because of his dependability. And quarterbacks have to have that from their receivers, meaning they know where they're going to be when they're running certain routes. They don't break them on them. They don't change them up and do their own freelance stuff and put their quarterbacks in bad situations. Matt Ryan has ultimate trust in Julio Jones.
His pass caught at the 4. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down. The short yardage man, it's Coleman. He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. Just a yard, but that's all they needed, and by the slimmest of margins, it'll be first and goal. Now a play fake here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Bobby Wagner in from his linebacker spot. He's able to drop it for a loss of about 10.
Well, surprise, surprise. First and goal at the 1. No quarterback sneak. No running play. They decide to throw for it, but the pressure got to him quickly and put the quarterback.
And he's going to go down again. Frank Clark in there to get him. And this pass rush strong now. That's sacks on back-to-back plays.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
To throw is Ryan. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Frank Clark in there again to drop him for the second straight play, and it'll be 4th down.
And that's the kind of stand all defenses are seeking. 3rd and goal, backs against the wall, and they
get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football.
So the next time we leave one of those coaches' meetings and we're walking out in the hall and you're like, how come we spend so much time talking about special teams?
Here you go. This is why.
This is why, right? And then look, I'm right there with you. We hear it every time we meet with coaches, but it is a big part of it. And look at how early in the game this occurs. They block a kick, and not only does it set a tone, it sends a message for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so much for our first points of the game. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Partner, it's often that man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with them, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big-time pickup on that play.
23 yards on the play. Well, maybe that'll help him settle back into a groove after the interception on the first drive here, picking up the first to start drive number 2.
And it is just starting over, isn't it? Sometimes it's just how you have to do it. You have to erase things from...
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And they'll have the football, but deep in their own territory as he's brought down at the 5.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got...
And for the 4th time tonight, they're going to take him down, and this time it gets him a safety. Well, we thought these two defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here, a safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
Remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. Returnable for Lockett. And some room to work. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that colored jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with him. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy. Well, that was man coverage. So once he decides to run with the football, there's no one to account for him, and he turns it into a nice gain.
On 1st down, Wilson. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. And we take a look at the offense for the Seahawks.
I believe Eddie Lacy found a home in Seattle because he heard from them that they like him for who he is, a big, strong, physical back. They won't worry as much about his weight as they will about his production and his ability to break down defenses carrying the ball in tough situations.
So the incomplete pass brings up 2nd down. To throw again, Wilson. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. And here now the defensive starters for Atlanta.
When Atlanta drafted Desmond Trufant and Robert Alford, they thought they were going to get some young corners that would grow into the job, and boy, have they been right. Desmond Trufant, Pro Bowl in 2015. Unfortunately, hurt in 2016, wasn't able to play in the Super Bowl. Might have been the difference down the stretch against the New England Patriots.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Here's Wilson to throw. Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now fourth down.
My man's getting a little loose with the football there, right? Interception before, almost had one here. He's got to start taking better care of it.
Yeah, really should have been back-to-back drives with interceptions. He's lucky there. Now Wilson, flush to his right. He can run for it, and he will. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Well, that, my friend, I guess is the definition of a head-scratcher. Fourth and long, this stage of the game. What were they doing?
I just have to believe that he looked at the situation, still in the first half, decided if there was a time to be aggressive, now was it, because there's still time to make up for it if things don't go right. Of course, a lot of questions on this one, and look, I want to go for it as much as anyone.
But fourth and long?
Yeah, I don't think I would have there. That one seemed a little bit on the irrational side.
Fans might be a little angry at that one. Freeman again. He had a great move, but he'll still be stopped shy of midfield. Give him 2 yards that time, and it's going to leave him with a 3rd and 11 situation. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line.
Well, it's third down. You're in a tight game in the loudest stadium in the NFL, and it's enough to rattle even the most seasoned of quarterbacks. And here, it looks like he's not quite on the same page as his receiver. This will wind up a turnover.
Flushed out right. Lets this one rip toward Graham, and nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's second down. Well, so they just got the football on an interception. They almost gave it right back the same way.
And, you know, when you look over to the bench after that type of a play, number one is pure relief. Didn't give it up. But it's not the coach you're worried about yelling at you. It's those guys on defense who just intercepted the pass who want to break over there. Hey, take care of the football, man.
So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th. Here we go on 4th with Wilson. Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Falcons will take control of the football in great field position. So, Charles, why in the world do you take that risk there?
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense on the surface. I've been around enough of these coaches and enough of these meetings along the way. Sometimes they're so confident in a play call that they don't care about the situation. They think that that play, at that time, they're going to run it and pick up whatever they need. So maybe that's what influenced him there. I'm guessing because I have no other explanation.
Yeah, that's tough. Own side of the field, that chunk of yardage to pick up. Head scratcher. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
On third down, Ryan. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Frank Clark in there to get him again. The 3rd time he sacked him here tonight.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
He's got the leg, but it's no good. He missed it right, and this score will stay right where it is. So 2 missed field goals for him now. That's helped keep them with a big 0 on the scoreboard.
Well, it's not the only reason they have a 0. The offense has been bogged down a few times now, but it's certainly not helping the cause any at all.
Now Wilson. And the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. Despite the heavy running, he'll be hit and dropped shy of the 45. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Now Wilson on second down. Escaping the pressure right. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. He had gained really good yardage, but that's what you tell your quarterbacks, right? Get down after you got the run.
You don't have to prove your toughness. You know, I think that's what a lot of coaches are trying to preach to their guys. Get the yardage, get down, protect the football, and protect yourself from extra hits as well.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run. Again, they'll run with Freeman. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. Now Ryan. And almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
He's not exactly had a banner start to this game. We're still in the first quarter. He's already thrown an interception, and that should have been the second one.
The punter Bosher on now as he gets this one away. Now it's Lockett. 51 yards on the punt there. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. Now Wilson on first down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Vic Beasley leading the surge there. He drops in for a loss of 6. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. On second down, here's Wilson. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. And he gets this one up just shy of the 35 to the 34. And a nice gain at 21 yards. Here's Wilson on first down. It's caught outright by Graham. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A really good pickup of 28 yards. And not quite sure what just happened there, other than we do know that he spiked the football on first down. So 2nd and 10 here. To throw again is Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. Only 1 score in the first quarter, and it came from the defense. 2-0 is our score. We'll be back to Seattle right after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Alongside my broadcast partner Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin hits the Seahawks with a football to begin quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Now it's Wilson. And able to find Graham, complete. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the first. Here's Wilson. And he's got the big tight end Graham. Touchdown, Seattle. Jimmy Graham, a 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. Yeah, he is a reliable target. They like to get him involved. They got him involved there for the score.
And they should. He's a very good player. Remember, they can use him in certain positions, so many different spots, and he usually comes through for them.
Blair Walsh on to attempt the extra point. And this is good as they extend it out now to a 9-0 lead. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. Andre Roberts now to return it. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. On second down, Freeman. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. And if you're the defense and those D tackles, you like that they're trying to run the football here against your 4-3, don't you?
Yeah, because they tend to eat things up because they are so strong and physical, and especially when they play with leverage where they get lower than the offensive linemen and control them. And what I love about the good defensive tackles, they can play over the guards, they can slide and play over the center. Nobody in the offense likes that day when they have to deal with those guys. Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling it. I say go for it.
And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive, that culminated in touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
Let's shift gears for a second and look back to this last week and some of the top performances that we had. The Saints in the backfield. You had Kamara and Ingram combining for 298 rushing yards.
Yeah, the Saints were the first team with 6 rushing touchdowns in that game. 0 punts in the game, so their punter, Thomas Morstead, got the weekend off with pay. Not bad, huh? First time that's happened since the 1941 Bears. And how about Robert Woods with the Los Angeles Rams? Second straight week with 2 touchdowns. They brought him in to show the guys how to be a professional. He's also showing them how to be a productive.
Now he's flushed out right. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. Wilson now on 1st and 10. And he finds his tight end, Graham. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 18 yards on each of the last 2 plays, and they're picking up big chunks now. To throw is Wilson. His throw caught right around the 6. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that. And
he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Thomas rolls. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. And here now come the Falcons. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. A fake to Freeman. Now it's Ryan. Jones breaking from the contact. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
and attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Caught on the right side by Jones. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop, but that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be third down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
Here's Ryan to throw. It's caught. Jones. And he is down deep into Seattle territory. A big play there. Ryan to Jones. 42 yards.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's first and goal. They'll run here with Freeman. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on third, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that second down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
Holding offense.
So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
On third down, that's Coleman. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. A good run there, 8 yards. Gets them much closer to the end zone with 4th and goal looming.
There are certain drives in a game where anything less than a touchdown that caps it feels like an absolute disappointment. This is one of those drives.
And the 42-year-old veteran's kick is up and good. And they'll at least get on the board here, still trailing, but 16-3 now. So this time the protection holds up for him just fine, and he's able to bang it through.
I think their special teams coach got the point across. He gave him a pretty good earful after the block earlier. And this time, there's no penetration, so they're able to pick up 3.
The Seahawks offense now, they get set to go back to work. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Adrian Claiborne in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Looking to throw on second down. Wilson dancing to his left. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. A nice job of eluding the pressure there, scrambling for 11. To throw is Wilson on third down. Flush to his right. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard. The rushing numbers for Wilson maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. Back now. As I search for my cue card here, there we go. Coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis from our first half of play.
Well read.
Well, thank you. He'll get 10 there all on his own, but it'll be second down. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. That's complete. It's Rawls. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. 3rd and 2. Now Wilson. Gonna throw right side here. Complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. The 21 yards there as they convert on 3rd. Wilson. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards. And now with that completion, he's north of 200 yards here in the first half.
And he's going to break our statistician, Marvin, isn't he? Because Marvin right now is just tallying it up. Hope his hand doesn't hurt too much doing this or keeps hitting the calculator. But my goodness, what a start he is off to. By the end of this game, he could have monster numbers. He just wants to continue to be accurate.
He'll run it with Lacey. And he will take this one in for the Seattle touchdown. Eddie Lacey punching it in from a yard away. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. And that one pushes the lead up to an even 20. A 10-play drive that time. And it's finished off by a touchdown run coming from Eddie Lacey. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team.
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Frank Clark in there again. My goodness, that is now his 4th sack tonight.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. Going to give it to Freeman. And he will fight his way forward to about the 23-yard line. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we are at halftime here in downtown Seattle with the Seahawks out in front. As we send you across the country to Orlando, standing by there, Larry Ridley with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Seahawks are happy to be in front right now and just want to play 2 more solid quarters. The Falcons didn't play their best, and they'll need to be at their best now to come back. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. 1st and 10. Here the throw is hurried and picked off. Allen's happy to come away with the pick and end the drive. Seahawks have it at the 12. Wilson's on point with the throw, and he finds his mark for the score. That takes the lead up to 9. Now to early in the second. Rawls is going to head outside to the right, and this 5-play drive goes for a touchdown as they take a 16-0 lead. Now to late in the second. Lacey's got it on the run, and he capped off the long drive with a touchdown. Seahawks lead balloons to 20.
Okay, Larry, a fairly one-sided first half as we get set to go in the second half. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. So out come the Falcons now. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there.
But this you're going to do that?
I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. They go play action here on first down. Connects with Sanu right side. And he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. Now a play fake here on first down. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
And they finally do get him, but not before he reaches the 27. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down. We know he's got the arm, but watch out for those wheels.
Kind of harkens back to guys they used to call the scrambler and the dodger. This guy can make it work with his legs.
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Paul Richardson, 27 yards. And the interception by the Seahawks D leads to a touchdown. And man, Charles, talking about singing something in there. Those gloves, they help with one-handed catches, the fun stuff. Any padding for a rocket like that?
One would think so, but I'll guarantee you this. After that throw, his hands will hurt later. Not right now in the moment. He's just feeling good about catching it.
Yeah, a little stinger, but a touchdown. Walsh now for the PAT. And that stretches the lead to 27. One play, 2 plays, touchdown. That's all it took there. A very short and sweet drive that got him in the end zone. And a good job here by the Falcons. Their hands team able to recover it. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, it was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie.
Holding offense.
Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
Out of the gun, it's Ryan. And this This is incomplete. Austin Hooper, the tight end, was the intended target. That'll bring up second down.
Well, with that incompletion, I want to ask about the game that you worked this last week in Minnesota and Washington. And Minnesota's Teddy Bridgewater didn't play, but active again on the sideline, was very, very emotional, wasn't he?
He certainly was, and I can't even begin to imagine what the road was like coming back.
And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. And the return goes up to his own 17-yard line. They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just given him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent, it's really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
And now they're just looking to add to that total. Catch made right side by Wilson. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. And give him a gain of 37. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And incomplete. Probably should have had that one, but with the game he's having tonight, maybe they'll let it go.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
2nd and 10 now, Wilson. Oh, he almost had it. Already with one interception, just missing his second there. This drive, which was going so smoothly, all of a sudden it's a little bit of a roadblock here with 2 straight incompletions.
Yeah, apparently this defense has had enough. Apparently they're saying, no more. We're making a stand right here, right now. But it is 3rd and 10. They've got to get after him one more time.
And he's got Lockett. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Tyler Lockett, 31 yards. And the Seahawks are running away with this one. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Extra point try now for Walsh. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This one taken just inside the 10. Then he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're used to touching the football that makes big plays and give them that opportunity to maybe wake up everyone else.
And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
On 3rd down, Ryan. And that will be incomplete as well.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is brought in at the 21. It's a 4-yard return following a punt of 49. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. And out now come the Seahawks. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport. The road to be fairly clear
that is
by the
one
time we have to leave the booth.
Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets them a 1st down. And they're going to speed things up here. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. Flushed out right. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
There's Wilson to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Nick Vanette, 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Seahawks offense continues to pour it on.
That's almost just not right. You cover everybody, but those tight ends, they can be awfully reliable.
Very reliable. Defense just has to hate those guys.
It just drives them crazy because oftentimes you can't match up with them. They have you either with size, speed, or maybe even just strength.
And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. So the drive there took 6 plays. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. And a good job here by the Falcons. Their hands team able to recover it. The risk reward of the onside kick. When you don't get it, the risk comes out to play. And here they gave up great field position.
And that's the key to everything because you're trying your best to press advantages when you have them. And field position leads you to that type of play calling, and whether you want to blitz or whether you want to throw the ball deep, those types of things, now that they've given up that type of field position, the advantage is switched to their opponent.
They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. Down right around the 25. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6.
Well, you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Big boys down there in the trenches, and a nice play to stop them cold. Nothing there.
Yeah, when you talk about big boys, you're talking about those defensive tackles, those nose tackles. They're not just big, they're immense, and what a big-time play there.
Well, I guess we're at the stage here where they wouldn't say no to any points, but I don't think field goals are what they're looking for here in the second half.
I don't either, Brandon. When you're down as much as they are, that's the sign of a head coach waving the white flag to me.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Brooks Reed in there to get him for a loss of 5. Now Wilson on second down. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Boy, not deterred from those first 2 failed attempts. They're going to go a third time here on fourth down. They'll indeed go for it with Wilson. And this is incomplete. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone. They'll try to get the ground game going with Freeman. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
On the counter, Devontae Freeman. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. A good run as he works his way for 9 that time, and it'll leave him with a third and just a few inches. And now the Seahawks are going to take a timeout here on defense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
Hey, 4 down. Ready? Black 25.
On third down, Devontae Freeman. And not only will he not get the few inches he needs, he's going to go backwards. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll be fourth down. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. And we'll begin it with a field goal try here. To the football, it's blocked. It's picked up, a live ball here, remember.
Well, that field goal block pretty much sums up the day for them, doesn't it?
Boy, it really does. What's the word we often use? Symptomatic. It's just been a sign of how this one's gone.
Give a lot of credit to the guys who got in and blocked the kick. They've had the advantage all game, and they continue to press it.
Escaping the pressure right. Slips past him.
Where'd he go?
And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down. On first down, Wilson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. The intended target, Doug Baldwin. And now it's second down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of...
This is caught inside the 15. A gain of 32 that time. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Now Wilson on first down. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Nick Vanette, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Seahawks are running away with this one. So another score there, and often you talk about the three phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. And a good job here by the Falcons, their hands team, able to recover it. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden it.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off by the Pro Bowl safety Cam Chancellor. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Walsh now for the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. Well, this is a touch cruel here. They've got the big lead. Now they're going for the jugular with the onside kick. Down the numbers. There he goes. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And following the pick six, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive. And
the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Michael Bennett in there to drop him the 7th time tonight. He's gone down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Caught by Jones. And, oh, he is really laid out that time. Knocked flat on his back. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Well, if you want to be known as dependable to your quarterback, that's what you have to do. Go into the middle of the field, know the hit is coming, and catch the football. And that's exactly what he just got done.
And defensively a little and no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Sheldon Richardson in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row. There were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit. Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Adrian Claiborne in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night. On 2nd down, here's Wilson. He's going to rifle one deep, and this is caught inside the 5. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Tyler Lockett, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Seahawks offense continues to pour it on.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
She's singing, too.
Oh, she's at least...
She's on, like, the 5th tune at this point.
She left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
So that drive, 4 plays. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. Atlanta now coming out on the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
That goes for a gain of 31. And at this stage, down in the 2nd half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there. It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Here's Ryan. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 48. And he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Defensively, they've had their way in this one. That pick 6 makes that scoreboard even more lopsided.
I remember talking with a guy in the league, and I said, what do you do when the game's like this? You know, it's pretty much over. You ready to go to the bench and hang out? He said, oh, heck no. I want to stay on the field. I might get some stats. I might get a pick or 2.
You like being out there at the end of these wide margins.
When they have to throw it, that gives you more opportunities to go get it.
Extra point try now for Walsh. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And a good job here by the Falcons, their hands team, able to recover it. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, He's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It all comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? Ryan. Able to get away. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Frank Clark in there yet again. My goodness, make it 5 sacks for him now in this one game alone.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
On 3rd down, Ryan. And yes, he found Toilolo. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. To throw again is Ryan. His throw caught at about the 5. Ryan finding Gabriel for the Falcon 1st down. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row, I'm going to stay confident.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Mike Bennett in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time.
And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big.
Well, I do have one word for that touchdown for you, partner. You ready?
Yeah.
Cosmetics.
Just makes things look a little better. I don't know. It's like putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, and it's hard to do, too. And the pig doesn't like the lipstick a heck of a lot, but you do like the fact that they're battling down the stretch, still trying to put something on the board, even though this game is over.
By the way, how rude is that to the pig? Look at all the things they give us. Pulled pork, bacon. Here's Bosher to kick it away. Tyler Lockett now with a return. A little 360. And a spin again. Tyler Lockett. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Well, they're just having fun. I mean, they are clicking on every single cylinder, offense, defense, and here, special teams.
And how about the extension of the lead? This one felt a lot like, you remember Seattle-Denver Super Bowl 48? Percy Harvin to start the second half. Seattle was already firmly in control. Now, they feel like they can't be caught.
Yeah, they are firmly in control right now. Walsh now for the PAT.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that one goes down as a 99-yard kick return for 6 from the 1-yard line all the way to the house on the other end. And a good job here by the Falcons, their hands team, able to recover it. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
you're not going to want that feeling again.
No, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
To throw is Ryan. He goes underneath to Freeman. Solid running on the carry, but still brought down just inside the 40. And now the Seahawks are going to call another timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. To throw on third down, Ryan. He hits his target. It's the tight end, Toilolo. A good pickup there at 22. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. Now Ryan on first down. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was hoping to get that one to Tevin Coleman in space, and that'll bring up second down.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
Ryan. And his throw is incomplete. They were looking that time to get it to Justin Hardy, and it's third down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. They run the play fake to Coleman. Now Ryan. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Michael Bennett in there to drop him for his second sack now here tonight.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Ryan. And the pressure gets to him again. But Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.